Hello and welcome to the Late Night Gaming Show, episode 32. We have had quite the afternoon of trying to get this thing to work. We had a few issues with the microphone, but we're back, so we can officially shoot episode 32. We're coming at you live, so we hope you enjoy the show. I have got Jody with me.
Hello.
Who's going to be also controlling all the bits and pieces, and also we'll be on the chat as well if you want to ask any questions. So it's going to be a fun show. I'm excited. Will we get through this without any technical issues? Only time will tell. So without further ado, we're going to move into our first section, which is what have we been playing this week?
What you been playing this week?
Welcome back. It is time for what have we been playing this week. You know what, Jody? I'm going to go first this week. What have I been playing this week?
What have you been playing, Tim? What have you been doing this week?
I have, you know what, like, it might come across like I have loads of time to play games. That is not the case at the moment.
It really is.
It really isn't. I wish it was. It's funny, I'm doing so many more videos and stuff now, I'm actually finding less time to play games, which is weird. But, with the little time that I have had, after that amazing Nintendo Direct that we're going to talk about in a little bit, I have basically just been playing Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. Oh, so good. I am so glad I didn't buy that on mobile. I was like this for a while whether I was going to do it. I am so glad that I waited because it's out on the Switch now. I can use actual real controls, none of this touchscreen malarkey. I've just been having a blast. I am a massive Final Fantasy fan. I love Final Fantasy 15. So it was a nice little trip back down memory lane, really.
Nice. From
a year and a half ago or 2 years, something like that. So, you know.
Okay.
Long-term memories there. I'm really intrigued whether it's actually better for somebody who's never played a Final Fantasy game to play that, or somebody who's enjoyed Final Fantasy 15 and going back. So it's a weird one. But that's actually going to be our review of the week, so I'm going to save most of the judgment till then.
Okay.
So that's basically been me. I finished off Fortnite, actually. I say finished off. I really wanted that last skin.
You did, didn't you?
And I actually... This is one of those occasions where you can't be bothered playing a game, but you have to, or else you don't get the opportunity to get that stuff.
Very true.
So I spent one evening just getting it done. And you know what? It sounds like work. It felt like work just doing it. I didn't want to play it anymore. I was done, but I had to. So I did it, and now I'm not even going to bother with the rest of the challenges.
Have you been following the cube situation?
I saw a thing saying that the cube went into Loot Lake and it's made it all spongy or something. I don't care. That literally, you think about it, from the start of this season, all the crazy stuff that was happening, if you told me the end result would be a glowing purple cube in Loot Lake that makes things bouncy, I wouldn't have believed you, because I would have gone, are you serious?
Yeah, but think of all those times you've gone through Loot Lake and you've got stuck and someone's killed you in Loot Lake because you were going so slow. And now you just bounce across. Everyone's going to have fun with that.
I've got to be honest with you, though. I'm not the one who gets killed in Loot Lake. I'm the one doing the killing. Because I just sit there and wait for some idiot to try and traverse the entire lake. And I just go, oh, there he is. Boom, boom, boom. Done. So it actually makes me more sad. I don't like the bounciness. It just ruins it. But I was just like... So the whole crazy thing was that it was going to make things bouncy. Whoa, crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation going around on that game, but anyway.
It was shocking. All the stuff they did in the real world as well. They put like real piñata llamas around different countries and put them in like weird locations. They had that the Durr Burger in the desert, and they actually hired secret agent actors. As in people who play secret agents, not secret agents who become actors. In case you're confused. And actually put them out in the desert for people to find, and then they'd like give them little clues and stuff. And this is the result. Did you know, Jody? There was actually a phone number you could call. So they found a phone number on this one of the secret agents like clipboards. There was a phone number. You could actually call that number, right?
Yeah.
And it would go through and say like, I think it'd say something like, I don't know. I think it'd just say like number not recognised something. But then if you put an extra like a 1 or a 2, it would actually give you a message. Like actually do it, and then people were trying different combinations, and it was getting crazier and crazier. And the result is a spongy cube in a lake. Well done, Epic. That was well worth the trip.
That's epic, man.
So there you go. So I'm not thrilled with Fortnite right now. I'm kind of like,
It's okay, Tim.
Jody, what have you been playing this week? Oh wait, and of course, been playing Nintendo Switch Online stuff as well, which again we'll talk about later.
So yeah, I don't want to relive them moments. So what have I been playing this week? I played Mario Kart for 2 minutes last night.
Wow. Lots of gaming time in there, Jodie.
Because I was finishing off Spider-Man.
Oh.
We did it. We got to the end. Not going to spoil it like half the internet had done. We're not going to do that, but it's worth
Were you satisfied with the outcome? Did you come out the back end of it and gone, that was worth it?
Yeah, but as I was thinking that, I had tears in my eyes. So.
But tears of
sadness.
Tears of sadness. But was it one of those where it's like, there's sadness there, but then you come out back and you go, but that was really good.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking.
Yeah. And you've got, the credits will come up, just bear with them, get through the first set of credits. It's like a Marvel film, you got to go through that first set of credits, and it's a little end scene.
There you go.
And you'll love it. You'll love it.
Guaranteed. So that is what have we been playing this week, and we're going to go on to our next section, which is the news.
It's time for some news, yeah. It's time for some news.
Fortnite stuff off there. No, get the Fortnite off the clip, Jodie. I told you, get Fortnite off the clip.
Fortnite makes half of our news.
No, this will be the first week. The Fortnite will not be in the news.
Fortnite's already in the news.
We already talked about it, didn't we? It makes me sad. Anyway, welcome back. It's time for the news. So, I have got not many items on the list today. I've only got 3 in there because one of them was quite big.
Okay.
I don't know how much we'll elaborate on it because there will be a separate video on this topic. But I'm going to start with the least exciting news.
Go on then.
So, speaking of Fortnite...
Yes.
So there was apparently a listing that went up on the rating board, I believe. I can't remember what country it was, but it turns out that there's a good chance that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is coming to PlayStation 4.
Yes.
So you actually really like it, don't you?
I actually prefer
it.
PUBG to
Fortnite. Me too. I am in agreement with that.
I think we're both just gonna.
I just don't know. I don't know if I can be bothered though. I actually paid for it on Xbox, and I'd have to pay for it again on PlayStation. I'm barely on my PlayStation as it is right now, and I'm just like,
need to bring it to the Switch.
I don't know. Well, funny you should say that too. I wish I could say that. You're the hope in her eyes. I was like, is it really good? There's no reason why this couldn't come to the Switch eventually. I don't see why not. I mean, I know the graphics would be downgraded, but it was on mobile, so I'm not even bothered if we get that like
the mobile
lower resolution and stuff. I'm fine with that. I think it works well with Fortnite. Obviously, it's not going to be 60 frames a second, 4K, whatever. But I'm not. The thing that I've kind of learnt with the Switch is that I don't care about graphics as much as I thought I did. And,
that's true. And
I've just like games I've been playing, like the graphics aren't amazing, but you just have such fun with it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I don't really care about that. But as long as I don't see why it couldn't come. It should be able to come, in my opinion.
You never know.
And, of course, following suit, if it came out on the Switch, I would be there day one buying it. and I think you would be too. Well, you're getting to that point too, Jodie. Which, you know what? I'm going to bring that up in the news in just a few seconds. Just a few seconds, Jodie. Because there's a bit of news on my part that I want to bring up on this show, you little scumbag. So our second bit is the PlayStation Classic Mini got announced actually yesterday.
Okay.
I actually put up a video about it. So we got the press release through from Sony, went through the specs and everything. One thing that a lot of people are missing, and I put a comment up on this on another website, because somebody was saying, what's the resolution? Like, he said, obviously it'll be 1080p, but will it be able to go to 4K? Probably not, but is it possible? And I was like, mate, this is 720p, this ain't 1080p. And if you actually look on the video, you can look through the press release that I put up there, and you can see it actually only runs at 720p, which I'm really surprised about. Because that's one thing that, like, PlayStation fanboys love to do, is like, oh, the Switch, it only does 720p on certain games. Well, your PlayStation Classic does too. Enjoy that. I do actually like PlayStation as well. I'm saying that as if I'm taking shots at people who like PlayStation, but I do too. But Jodie, what did you think of the PlayStation Classic Mini? Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does.
Are you interested in it? So I'll explain what it is first. I've just realised I've just gone on a rant about it. So the PlayStation Mini Classic Mini is basically, it's a miniature PlayStation. It's basically exactly the same. I've actually brought these for your eyes to see. It's basically a rip-off of these. So Nintendo made these tiny little consoles. So this is a Nintendo Entertainment System and a Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And basically it has like 20 games pre-installed on the console. Okay. You can't add any more to it. It's just the ones that are on the ones you get. So you just pay a one-off price and it's basically just a tiny version of the console, which is kind of cool. And PlayStation's doing the same. So you get two normal PlayStation controllers, so not the ones with the analog sticks. You get a miniature version of the PlayStation. It doesn't read discs or anything. It's just got basically 20 games on it. But Jodie, are you interested? Is it something you want to buy?
I don't know because like I'm not too sure about it. I mean, I love PlayStation back in the day. I loved a bit of PlayStation, and I actually had the version that's coming out. The version of it that's coming out. I actually had that console itself. So I'm not sure. It depends on the games that are on it. I mean, I wouldn't just buy it for the sake of buying it, just for childhood memories. I wouldn't do that. But I'd buy it if there was like a decent games like on there. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm waiting.
I mean, the games that are on there at the moment, I don't think it's that impressive. No. I mean, there's Final Fantasy VII, which loads of people will be like, oh, but I'm just like, I can literally get it on everything. Literally everything. And you're going to be able to get it on the Switch soon as well. And I think you can make that argument probably with some of the Nintendo stuff as well. You can probably get it on loads of the past consoles. Well, the Wii U and the Wii, basically. But I don't know. With me, I don't know if it's just a nostalgia thing for me, as like I grew up with Nintendo. Yeah. But this stuff is significantly older than PlayStation as well. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking like a long time before PlayStation came along. So I think for me, like, PlayStation isn't old enough for me to have that same nostalgia. They're almost at that point, but not quite. So for me, this was... I don't even care about playing the games, and I just think it's really cool to have a miniature console. But with the PlayStation, it's £90 as well. These were like 50. I don't know if I could stomach that price now. I think on the video I was like, I'm defo buying one of these. Then when I took a step back and looked at the games, I was like, maybe not. So they are going to announce more in the future, but I'm like, if Final Fantasy VII and I can't even remember what the other games were, and Ridge Racer. I like Ridge Racer, but I'm like, if that's your biggest games, I'm very concerned. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, why didn't you come out with your, like, maybe like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, those kind of games? It's just... Well,
there's no point in like putting Crash Bandicoot on it because it's now on PlayStation 4 remastered.
And well, some people like to go back to the old ones anyway, don't they? But
and then there's no point doing Spyro because they're doing exactly the same what they've done with Crash. So
yeah,
they're the only two games that
like I just said. Yeah, I think some people will be like, oh, but I'd still play it just for the old feeling. But I'm like, to be honest with you, I think like when Spyro comes out, I don't think I'm gonna want to go back. Like that's the thing. The graphics haven't aged well. That's the thing. They have like with Mario Brothers and things like on these consoles, like they still like. Obviously, the graphics aren't amazing, but because of the way the pixel art was done and stuff, it just has aged well. Whereas, like when they try to be like realistic or like stuff, it's not worked out in the long run, has it? So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. We'll come back to this probably in the next few weeks as they announce more games, and we'll revisit it and decide, do we hate it? Because right now I'm just thinking it's very expensive. I think a lot of PlayStation fans are actually saying like, for £90 I can literally go buy a PlayStation 1 and buy all of most of the games that you're going to have on there anyway.
It's true.
So it's like, what's the point?
It's true.
But it outputs in HD. It's only 720p, but there you go. So that is the PlayStation Mini. Next is the Nintendo Online service has launched. That also launched yesterday. That was yesterday.
Yes, it was.
That was not that long ago. Was it really Wednesday? It was. It was Wednesday.
Thursday today.
Yeah, it's all just morphing into one for me right now. So that launched yesterday. Jodie, you've had a little bit of time playing around with it. How have you found it?
Found it all right. It's online stuff. Just it's like the multiplayer stuff's not working. They need to sort themselves out. Like you can't go and launch something and then it just not work.
Yeah.
So what's the point in that? It's like playing Fortnite and not being given a gun. You've got to run around the whole thing trying not to get killed. So, I mean, I'm impressed because I've not really played many of them old games.
Yeah.
Probably not played any of them.
So you're talking about the Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online. Change that name, please. But yes. Obviously the 20 games you get free with that.
Yeah. So I've not played any of them until we just did the video earlier. But yeah, it's all right so far. Like I'm not complaining, but Get your multiplayer sorted out, Nintendo.
Yeah, so we're going to have a video up that's, I don't know, it'll either be today or in the next couple of days. And we did a video of just trying to test out the actual just playing online on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Switch Online. I'm so bored of saying that. And we literally, like, Jodie's one just would not connect at all. And it's like she could get on the eShop, she could play other games online. She just literally that. And I'm like, that's the app that comes with the subscription. I'm like, how is that not working?
Why is it not working?
So,
Nintendo?
I mean, it might be a one-off for her, but I'm just like, it's just to me, it's just not good enough. And I had an issue as well. If you watch the video, I had an issue as well where every time I click on the app, it literally comes up with an error and says like, can't upload cloud data. Do you want to continue? And I have to go yes, and then it goes into it all, and it's just, I'm like, come on. So I've got an issue with the cloud saving because it won't do it, and then you've got an issue with actually playing online with it, and it's just, Nintendo needs to get this sorted, and then couple that with, I mean, to me, couple that with the fact that you've got to use the mobile app to do voice chat, and it's just atrocious. Like, give it up, Nintendo. If Fortnite can make it work on your system where you can literally just plug in a headset to the top of the console and do it, there's just no excuse. I don't. There
isn't.
Even if your rule is like, oh, we don't want to support Bluetooth headphones because it's going to drain battery. Just make it so you can only use wired headsets, that's fine.
It's not hard.
Like, just sort it out. It's just so frustrating, and it's just annoying that basically, like, if I want to play online with Jodie, I've basically got to Skype her in, essentially, or like call her.
It's probably easier to call me
well, that's
than
the
it
thing.
is to use that app.
What's the point in going onto my phone, which, right, I'm just in case Nintendo's not aware, the invention of the telephone was so that I could communicate with another person. The advantage of a mobile telephone is that I can call her anywhere I want. So why am I going onto the phone that does that already to then go on an app to then voice chat with somebody else's phone? Exactly. I may as well just call you. It's just so stupid. But that being said, it's worth the money. I think it's...
Oh no, definitely it's worth the money.
And I think this is the only saving grace for Nintendo right now, is the fact that it is so cheap. And pro tip, if you want to make it even cheaper, you can get a family plan, costs £31.50. If you can get one other person to join you on that, and it can be anybody, it doesn't have to be somebody in your family or somebody in your household, you literally get it cheaper than if you bought the individual one. So I think there's 4 of us who did it, so we're basically paying about £8 each. So definitely do that. I mean, you can't complain for £8 for a year, can you? So I think that's the only thing that's saving them right now. I think that if they had charged full price like Sony and Xbox do, I think this would be bad times. Like, they would be in...
You're in so much trouble right now.
Yeah. So the next bit of news coming off the back of that is there's more controversy around cloud saves, because there seems to be mixed signals coming from Nintendo. So there was basically Nintendo put up a thing on their website with basically a load of questions that got answers. So it's like most frequent questions. One of the questions was, if my subscription ends, what happens to my cloud save data? So let's imagine you've got an individual membership, and 12 months from now you just forget, like you turn off automatic renewal and you forget that it's running out tomorrow, right? It finishes the next day. What happens to your cloud saves is like you sign up the day after. And all it said on I think it was the UK one, all it literally said was, basically, we can't hold your save data if you don't pay for it. So imagine you just forget, the next day it's all gone. And then you resubscribe, and it's like you've got to then re-upload all the stuff that's on your Switch already. So that's essentially what that was saying, but it wasn't saying what amount of time. Now, I'm sure the American website was saying that it was longer, or it was indefinite. So it's basically, everybody's kind of like paying for this service, and we don't actually know if our save data in the cloud is always going to be there if our subscription runs out or we forget to renew it.
I don't even know how to use my cloud yet, so I don't think that helps.
Well, the thing is, like, I think, to me, it was quite easy to find because I'm kind of used to that sort of stuff, but for somebody who doesn't really know, I would imagine it would be quite, not obvious. I thought that we were going to get an icon at the bottom of the screen that was going to be like, you know, like you have your controllers and store and stuff. Yeah. I thought we were just going to get another one like that for Nintendo Online features or something.
Yeah.
I was really surprised as well that the NES Classic games weren't an icon at the bottom. The way they've got that app set up as well is what I've always wanted. I wanted a little app that was kind of like, here's all your classic games in one place, and here's the ones you buy, and they just add into that, and it's like your little folder for that. But It's just a mess, isn't it? It's just a bit of a mess. But yeah. Go on.
We buyed into it.
Yeah, and I'm still happy I did.
No, I'm definitely happy. But
I think we play online a lot, don't we? And some of our friends do too. But it's just they just need to sort out these little bits. And it's just I mentioned on the other video as well about the online. I'm just going on a massive rant about this. I don't even care. Nintendo sort it out. But there was you literally the day it launched, I thought because I was setting up the family stuff on the website. And it had like all the prices and stuff, and it said like coming soon.
Yeah.
Because you could buy it on the website. On the day, I woke up in the morning, went on the website, and it just still said coming soon. And it was saying coming soon towards the back end of the day as well. And I was like, what? So in the morning, I actually thought it wasn't up, and I thought, oh, on the off chance, I'll just go on the Switch and see if the update's happened. And it was. So it's like, why is your website not updated for purchasing?
Someone needs a sack.
It was just crazy, and then I have a couple of groups on Facebook that's based around Nintendo and Amiibo and stuff, and they're all literally like losing their minds over the NES controllers that got announced.
Oh yeah.
So loads of people wanted to buy them, and they weren't going up on the store either for ages. And we found basically as a group we found a workaround where you went into My Nintendo, which is a separate website. There was actually a discount code you could find there. Click on that, which sent you to another link to take you to the store that it wasn't up on. So it was a different link that took you to another area of the website, to the other website, that apparently it wasn't up, but it was somewhere else. And then purchase it through that. And loads of people couldn't find it, and it was all over the place. We eventually all got through it, but it was just a nightmare. And then just to put it all on, so I managed to pre-order it. You don't get a confirmation email, and there's no way to check your order on the website. So essentially all I've got is a screenshot of my order, and there's no way to check it. I'm like, this is simple stuff that like normal websites can handle this, and you're a massive company. Sort it out, you know what I mean? So if you would like to pre-order the NES controllers, I can't guarantee they're up there now. But if you would like a 7-point work through guide in order to find it, I'll message it to you sometime. So there you go. That is the Nintendo Switch Online. But check out some of the other videos. You'll get loads more information about it. It's less ranty than what this has just been. This has been the whole show. It's just been me going sick about it. But when we calm down a bit, and if they just sort out a bit, it like for £8 a year though, it's worth it just for the NES games on their own. It is. I mean, like if you were buying them on the Wii U, for example, you'd be paying $3.50 per game. So 20 games. You know what I mean? That's like a lot of money. So there you go. And then, of course, since last week, we also had the Nintendo Direct. You watched along. We were kind of messaging throughout it, having a good laugh. I'm just going to say what happened at the start, and then I'll let Jodie give her thoughts. I actually injured myself. Now, my wife was out of the house at the time, and I had literally just ran upstairs, and the countdown was going on. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get a jumper. I'm cold, whatever. Went back downstairs, had it on the TV. It went 2, 1. And then Luigi's Mansion came up, and I was on edge because I was like, are they bringing the original Luigi's Mansion back to the Switch? Because I was annoyed it was on 3DS. And then it just went Luigi's Mansion 3, and I stood up and I went, yes, like that. And then it just went, and I actually like pulled a muscle all down my back of my arm, and I was in pain for a while, but I was so happy. But Jodie, what was your overall impressions of the Nintendo Direct?
I think this Nintendo Direct was a lot better than E3's.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And even the one that we did the reaction to.
Yeah.
The first one I ever watched.
With Smash Brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, was so much better. Even though, like, clearly, like, the ending one is hyped up as that one that we recorded.
Yeah.
But I was like, mate, that was a lot better because I understood what was going on a little bit more. So I was quite happy with this one.
Good stuff.
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. Although, because we knew kind of how long it was, so they said it was at 35 minutes. As it was getting towards the end of it, I was panicking, just thinking, we're just getting a load of smaller games now. What's the big one? What's the big one? I was thinking, we're not getting one, are we? We're not getting one. And then there was the whole Animal Crossing thing at the end. And it was just emotions all over the place. Because they had a whole thing, and we were like, oh my gosh, they're announcing Animal Crossing. And then it was like, Isabel's coming to Smash. And it was like, what? Are you serious? That's it? And then it's like, I just zoned out. I literally zoned out, and I didn't even watch the whole gameplay bit with her in it. And then it just goes back to Tom Nook, and it was like, oh, by the way, he just said something weird, and I was like, what does that mean? Is Tom Nook coming to Smash now? And then it just came up with the logo for Animal Crossing. I just went, Animal Crossing's coming to Switch. I didn't even know what to feel at that point. It was just literally a roller coaster. And then I just thought the end of how they did it was just like, what the heck was that? So, Animal Crossing coming in 2019.
Yeah.
Is that something you're interested in?
No. I'm not going to be playing it.
Are you serious?
I don't even like the Pocket Edition.
Well, the Pocket Edition's like Baby Edition.
Yeah, but
Like,
it
the
wasn't
actual
that good.
one is just like amazing. Oh, Jodie, don't.
I've never
Don't
played
say
it
that.
before.
This will be the
apart
first
from the
time.
Pocket
It will
Edition.
be the first time. Promise me, Jodie. Promise me right now on this show you will play it. Do it.
I'll play it when you get it.
Well, I'm going to get it day one, so you will. So yeah, I was really looking forward to that. Now, my wife literally loves it. Beth loves it. So she was like, literally, I'm not even joking. She's not even that into games. She's only into she's into 2 games. One of them's a mobile game, which we're all sad about. But the second game is a game that no one knows about apart from me.
Cooking Craze?
No, it's not. It's not. There's one game. It's actually a PC game. She plays it all the time. This is a little reveal right now, so I'm not allowed to say what it is. But you see, once we get to a certain size, we're actually going to have a big reveal, and we've already planned that Mike is going to do a live stream with Beth with this game. Beth's going to reveal what the game is, because the game, honestly, you will not expect it. It's insane.
Does Mike know what the game is?
No.
Okay.
I'm the only other person who knows.
Okay.
And
I was about to go, that's not fair!
they're going to do a live stream where Beth's going to reveal what the game is, and then she's going to do a let's play with Mike. So Mike's going to play this game, and she's going to sit there commentating. I'm telling you, I can't wait for it to happen. It's going to be amazing.
Is this when it hits 100?
No, I don't know. I think it needs to be a point where we actually get like quite a few people watching the streams, because I don't
Tell
want
you
it to
what
be...
though, we have got a few videos that are over 1,000 people watching.
But yeah,
so you get funny enough.
I
it'll be
literally
alright.
can't wait. It's going to be hilarious. And just watching Mike do it as well, because he's the PC guy. PC Master Race, my butt. I just think it's going to be hilarious. So I can't wait. But
Yeah.
she loves Animal Crossing so much, like to the point where I remember it came out on the 3DS, and I didn't have my 3DS for about 2 weeks because she was just on it all the time. I was like, can I have a go? She's like, no. So she will be getting her own Switch for that. It's so funny that she was just like, no, I don't want a Switch. Why do you want 2 Switches? Because I was trying to blag it so I could get the Smash Brothers one as well. And then I said, like, oh, Animal Crossing's coming out next year. And she's like, oh, I'm going to get a Switch for Animal Crossing. Like, yes, you are, my dear. Yes, you are. So that was that. So the last bit of news, and it's more personal news, Jodie. This is news that I think needs to be shared. I can't remember if I talked about it last week, but even if I did, I'm talking about it now again, because it's outrageous.
Clearly needed.
Jodie, it's outrageous.
Go on.
So, a few weeks ago,
Okay.
there was a certain bundle for the Nintendo Switch that got announced, didn't there? Do you know about this, Jodie? Do you? So, for those of you who know Jodie, and you've been watching for a while, she likes to have this little thing where she likes to have a little dig at me every so often where, if there's any sort of limited edition console comes out, she goes, oh, you getting that, Tim? Oh, you buy every single one, Tim. Why'd you have to get them all?
It's true fact, innit, Tim?
It is a little bit. But I didn't get the Spider-Man one.
No, you didn't, because you knew I would have digged into it.
I didn't have the
more.
money for it, to be fair. But like, the last one was the God of War one, and she was just ripping into me about it, and she was like, I knew you'd get it. You always get everyone. You know, it's not even good.
It did look ugly, I will admit.
Well,
it did look ugly.
Well, let's not change the subject, Jodie, because
That actually...
recently the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee limited edition Switch consoles got announced.
Yeah.
And I saw it. I thought, oh, that's cool. So they showed off the trailer I saw it on Facebook, and I thought, oh, I'll send that over to Jodie. She'll think it's cool. I sent it to her, and she was like, buying now, and I went, wait a second, you've only had a Switch for about 6 months, and she was like, buying it, don't care.
months.
That one that's worse.
No,
The less amount of time is worse.
6 months, go on.
And she was like, buying it. I was like, you just bought one? And then she was like, yeah, but that one looks better. And I was like, oh, it looks better, does it? So you swap it out for a new one. That's interesting, isn't it, Jodie?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't end there, guys. The controversy doesn't end there, because then in the Nintendo Switch Direct, I had been talking about that there being a rumor, and there had been an actual screenshot of the Super Smash Brothers console, limited edition one, And I was like, oh, this is coming. I've got to get this one. This is going to be amazing. So we both pre-ordered the Pokemon Let's Go ones, obviously. So I've been kind of battling with myself. What do I do about this other one if it happens? So they announce it and they show it off. What does Jodie message me? Buying it. And I was like, whoa, Jodie. So you've got one now. You're going to be buying another one. And then you want to buy another one. And she was like, I just want it for the dock. And I was like, here we are. We have arrived. So when I talk about this sort of stuff and I'm like, I just want the controller, I just want that, she rips into me. But suddenly Jodie wants it all. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of time to explain that to your viewers. Go ahead.
Right. Guys, this is important information. Don't be like us and just go out and buy different editions. But I will let you know, I have pre-ordered the Pokemon one.
Yes.
But I will not be pre-ordering the Smash Brothers one because A, there's not enough pennies in the bank.
That is a good point.
B, I nearly said 2. B, I just got really excited at the announcement of it, and I already had one thingy, so the excitement was still coming off on that one. So that's why I said that to him, but I won't be getting that second one. And the thing is, when it comes to those controllers, it gets addicted to
to get them all, doesn't it?
Yeah, because
Thank you.
they all look really cool.
They do.
Because I've got the black Go Pro controller.
Yeah.
And I've got the red Mario controllers, and then I've got the Splatoon ones, and I'm like, what's next?
What
and I'm
is
going to get the
next,
yellow
Jodie?
ones, and I've got to buy the neon ones to sell me other one, because the box I've got is my Mario one. So there you go. If anyone's looking for a Switch, just comment in the messages and comments, and I'll DM you.
Hey, this is not a car boot sale, Jodie.
And me and Tim will sign it for you.
Oh gosh, my word. Funny times, and we come full circle now, guys. Jodie is well embedded into the Nintendo family now. We never thought it would actually happen.
No.
But it happened, guys.
It did.
So now we just need to bully Mike to continue to join the craze.
You can do it, Mike. You can do it. I know you're watching.
Oh, boy.
2 people on the view.
You know, this was supposed to be a short news time, and all it's turned into me getting upset about the Nintendo Online service and getting upset about your console addiction now. So without further, I just want to confirm as well, I am actually pre-ordering both consoles.
We know. And they come out the same day.
Let's talk about that for a second, actually. I can't believe that. I just watched the thing, and I just watched it back the other day, and I noticed that, and I was like, the Smash Brothers one comes out the same day as the Pokemon one, but the game doesn't come out till, like, the 7th of December. And I'm like, what?
Well, apparently, you'll get it, and because it's like, apparently it's downloadable one if you've got the thing.
You're right.
And it'll be there on your dock system, on the system, right? But it'll say can't use till a certain date.
Well, it's in.
I think that'd hurt even more.
Well, the thing is, I don't even know. You're gonna put the download code in, and it'll register on the store that you own that game. But unless they've literally fully finished the game by that point, you won't actually even be able to download it then, because you can preload the game once they put it up. I don't even know if they will have. So I don't know. It's just really, I've never seen that with a console ever. I've never seen that happen. The closest thing I've seen is they did a Call of Duty when Infinite Warfare came out, and they did Modern Warfare at the same time. There was a PS4 console that came out, and I think you literally downloaded Infinite Warfare, or was it? Oh no, you could download the story portion of Modern Warfare first, and then Infinite Warfare on that later. That's the closest I've seen, but I've never seen it was just like a whole game. It's like, it's just
really
weird. I mean, I'm fine with it because I get my stuff like a month early, so cool. It just means I've got to find the money way sooner than I thought. So yeah, that was a weird revelation.
Yeah, it was.
But there you go.
Really odd.
But there you go. So that was quite the news story. It was supposed to be a quick thing with just like 3 news stories, but we got upset about a lot of things. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into what is coming out this week.
Can someone tell me what's out this week? Hey-oh.
Welcome back. It is time for what is coming out this week. I panicked and thought I hadn't done it, but I have. So don't worry, guys. I have got you covered for this.
That would have been the show.
Okay, so we have got the greatest lineup of games I feel we've ever had on what's coming out this week. I don't say that lightly, Jodie. So we have got 3 games coming out this week.
Go on.
We've got 1 Switch game, and we've got 2 Xbox One and PS4 games. So as always, I'm going to let you know what are the noteworthy games coming out this week, and then Jodie is going to let you know which one you should spend your hard-earned cash on. So number 1, we've got Broken Sword 5: The Serpent's Curse coming out on the Nintendo Switch. So this is a really old. It's kind of like a puzzle game, but have you ever seen it like a point and click game where it's like you have to find stuff in the scenery, and it's kind of a little bit like that. So you play as this character and you can like walk around a scene and you gotta like find things and put them together. It's kind of like an investigation thing at the same time. It's all right, but like this game has probably been ported to every system for the last like 10 years. It just turns up everywhere. I think you can even get it on your iPhone and stuff. But it's all right. All I remember is the advert that came out for, I think it was on the, might be not on the Game Boy Advance, believe it or not. Something like that. And I just remember a thing with a clown in it. That's all I remember. But there you go. Not much to say there. Number 2, you've got Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's actually autocorrect to Woodlands, which I think is quite funny. But Ghost Recon Wildlands, Gold Edition Season 2, or Year 2, should I say. So this is Ghost Recon, the game that came out almost 2 years ago now. Or a year ago.
Okay.
And it's basically just putting the game in with the second season pass. That's something to be excited about, innit?
Yay!
And then our final game, and the one that finishes off this finale. This is the finale of all what's coming out this week. And that is Fishing Sim World, PS4 and Xbox One. Jodie, what game out of this incredible lineup do you choose? Is it Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse? Is it Ghost Recon Wildlands Gold Edition Year 2? Or is it Fishing Sim World? Which one are we going for?
Number 1.
You going for Broken Sword? That's what I think. I would have gone for Fishing Sim personally.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pick it.
Oh, a little shout out though. Final Fantasy 15, the what's it called? Something of the deep.
Game.
The fishing game in VR. That is a fishing game to be proud of. It's got I think it's got crossbows in it and everything. It's just what is not to love. So that has been what we've been playing this week. What's out this week? So your pick of the week is Broken Sword 5: The Serpent's Curse, which Jodie looks like she wants to die now. After that, moving on, it's time for our next section, which is reviews of the week.
Oh, it's time to get funky. The reviews of the week.
Welcome back. It is time for an exciting section because I get to talk about Final Fantasy for 1.5 hours.
No.
Hooray.
We haven't got that much time.
So, the review for this week is Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD. So I'm reviewing this on the Switch. Obviously, I don't understand why this game came out on PS4 and Xbox One. Very weird decision, but we'll talk about it in a second. So this is basically a port of Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, which came out on iPhones. I don't know if it came out on Android at the same time. It might have done. But basically, it's a very scaled back version, a very approachable version of Final Fantasy 15. So Final Fantasy is I think it's kind of a series that people are scared of if they've never touched it before. It's quite like intimidating. There's a lot going on. But this gives you the story and the main bits. Mm-hmm. But then the graphics are like completely redone, so it'll fit on a phone and stuff. So I think if you've never played a Final Fantasy game before, you'll be great on this. You'll enjoy it. It doesn't actually feel that much like an actual Final Fantasy game. It actually feels like, when I was playing it, all I could think of was Diablo 3, but Final Fantasy, which I think is kind of a good thing. Yeah. But it's nice and simple. The controls are nice and simple. It's not hitting you, even like when you're using like magic attacks and stuff, it's usually complicated. You have to do all this weird stuff. But with this, it's just you absorb a bit of electricity, you fire out. It's just dead simple. Everything's dead simple. But it's really cool that like the whole story's here.
Yeah.
They've put most of the main scenes in, and all the voice acting's there and everything as well. So it's actually just turned into a really fun, just like linear game, which is actually exactly what I wanted right now. So I actually downloaded Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition on the PC, and I was like, I'm going to play this again. And I just couldn't commit to the however many hours it would take to do all the stuff again. But this, it was just like nice short chapters that you can just play through, enjoy the story, and just have a good time, really. So it was a nice change of pace for me, and it's exactly what I wanted right now. So if you like linear games and you don't like the big open world and all sorts in Final Fantasy 15, you'll enjoy that here. So then graphically, it's kind of done in a very cartoony anime style. The graphics, I can't really describe it. It's kind of its very own style, but it's like good enough. You're not going to be like, oh, where's the big realistic graphics? It's like just good enough, and I was fine with it. And then outside of that, the combat and stuff, it's really simple, but it's still really fun. Your friends just seem to die all the time, but that's fine. You can get back with that. They come back, like they're not actually dead. They're just knocked out. But I was fine with that because you can do it on your own anyway. So it's reasonably easy as well. There's a little bit of challenge there, but it's reasonably easy. So I think what I'm really interested in, and I don't know how you do it without you playing it, is I'm really interested to know, because for me, I played through the whole of Final Fantasy 15, absolutely loved it, and going back to this, it's kind of like that nostalgia we were talking about before. It's like I was going back through it, obviously with worse graphics and everything, but it was kind of this like, oh, I remember this scene from the game, and I remember this scene from the game. I'm be able to do that, and I remember that little funny joke that he told, and it's kind of all just there in a really short way, and I really enjoyed that. But but this game is actually really made for like an entry point for people who've never played Final Fantasy before, or don't have a PS4 with tons of power and all sorts. So I'm interested how much they would actually enjoy this game, not knowing anything about it. And the story is actually like my problem with Final Fantasy 15 was the story was actually really complicated, and you had to really, to understand what was going on, you had to watch the anime series, which was on like 5 episodes, but you had to watch the movie as well called Kingsglaive. Otherwise, you actually just didn't have a clue what was going on at the start. So I definitely recommend that you watch them beforehand. The movie's actually really good, so watch that if you want to do it. But I'm really interested to see how many people who've never played Final Fantasy will play that and enjoy it. But I'm interested to see, because you're just not interested in Final Fantasy at all, are you?
No.
So I'd be interested to see if you enjoyed it in any shape or form. But the only way I could do that is if I lent you my Switch, and that's not going to happen. So there you go. So I mean, overall, it's good. It's obviously not going to be as good as Final Fantasy 15, the main version. So to me, it's difficult because I'm comparing it to the original, and that's not really fair. But I have to.
You've got it.
Oh, this is such a hard one to give a score to. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. Now that's not bad.
So now
we try to use the whole, like most gaming sites and stuff like to go either basically between a 7 and a 9. That's what everything gets. But I think 6.5 basically means it's good. It's a good game. It's not amazing, but it's good. But I think like it kind of changes for different people. So if you played the game before and you just want like a nice little linear version of it to enjoy on your Switch at any point in time, it's fantastic for that, and I'm loving it. That's the thing. I love this game, but I'm judging it based on that. And if you've never played Final Fantasy before and you want to give it a go, it's a great way to just jump in and have a go. If you're not bothered about if you're not in either of those two camps, just leave it alone. Just ignore it. But right now, what's really cool is so they launched it straight after the Nintendo Direct, which was awesome. I love that. So I had a little half an hour playing it afterwards. But it was actually, I think it's 40% off until tomorrow, I think, actually. So it's £15 instead of 25.
Okay.
And I think it's 100% worth it for that price. So definitely pick it up if you don't want to pick up sim fishing.
Yeah, pick that
one. So then morality score wise, there's no blood, there's no violence, there's no sexual content, there's a lot of weird stuff though. Now, people, if you've never played a Japanese game before or any sort of Final Fantasy game, this is going to weird you out. But there's weird stuff going on here. Like the enemies look a bit weird. The characters say things that aren't really funny, but they kind of are if you're into that sort of thing. There's magic and stuff in the game, although it's not really like. It's not shoved in your face. It's not like that, no. It's more in the original PS4 and Xbox One PC games. There's more of it, but in this there's not. So it's actually a very like chilled out version of it, and I think I think the age rating is probably way lower than the other one, and it's probably rightly so. So I'd say morality score wise, it's gonna get a 7 out of 10. There's some other like it's got its own like religion and stuff in the game as well. I don't think it's personally anything to be concerned about at all, but just to let you know it's there. So Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD gets 6.5 out of 10. Nice. And again, like I said, I'm loving it. It's not to say it's bad at all. I'm just judging it based on that video game. And morality score, it gets a 7. So there you go. Jodie, are you interested? Are you intrigued?
No.
Do you want to pick it up? No. Last day to buy it, £15.
No.
£15, Jodie. So we're going to move on to our final section, which is Topic of the Week.
Topic of the Week.
Welcome back. It is time for Topic of the Week in our final section of the Late Night Gaming Show. So today, on the news of Sony bringing out the PlayStation Classic Mini. Get it the wrong way around every time. We're going to be talking a little bit about emulation. I've actually just remembered a news story which we can throw into this actually, which kind of actually plays into it. So we're talking about, is emulation stealing and is it wrong? So just if you have no idea what emulation is, basically emulation is essentially where, I mean, it's more complicated than this, but the easy version of it is like, basically you create a sort of program that is able to run like games that emulate the console before. So if I wanted, so this, for example, the Nintendo Entertainment System Mini. So this is essentially an emulation device. So basically there's a program in this that runs Nintendo Entertainment System games without needing the cartridge and all that. So it's basically pretending to be the original system without needing the system. So you could essentially just run that program on a computer and play all the games. So that's essentially an emulator in very, very easy, quick terms. So obviously that's what the PlayStation Classic Mini is. That's what the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Mini is. So the news story that kind of brings this about as well is that the Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online, which
it's just a mouthful.
Why do I have to say that? How could they not come up with a better thing than that?
Can't you just say the online system for Nintendo? That'd be easier.
I don't know, but basically that that is an emulator basically, and that emulates Nintendo Entertainment System games. And what they basically do, what people have found out basically is that the emulator that they made for this is what they've put into the Switch. So they've literally done no work. They've literally just gone, we'll take the stuff out of that and shove it up onto the Switch. So that's, now the problem with that is this thing got hacked to death. Like, bad times. There was even a message in there and stuff as well that the developers had put in there for people almost to find because they knew people would hack it. So basically people hacked this and put all sorts of games on this, put all sorts of stuff on it, literally do whatever they wanted with. And what that's basically meant is that people have now hacked, within a day, they've hacked that emulator on the Nintendo Switch, and they've managed to actually get all the games on there and all sorts. And it's literally like, if you know anything about programming and all sorts of things as well, it was literally like the files were named like Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers or whatever, so people could literally just put in Kirby. You know what I mean? It was literally just like insane how easy it was for them to do. So our kind of question, so outside of that, which is just funny, is how do we feel about people like hacking this stuff or creating emulators to play these games? So obviously legally it's technically not allowed because basically any games that Nintendo makes, they own. You don't have the right to then put that on something else or rip. You know, like you rip a DVD and put it on a computer. It's like essentially people rip the games out of cartridges and stuff and put them online and share them and stuff. That is technically illegal, just like it is with music and things like that. Where it gets murky is when it comes to games that are hard to find. So like, if a game was made 20 years ago, that company goes bust. No one really owns that game. But I don't own it either, so I don't have the right to take that game and make it for myself. So some people would say it's great for preservation because we can preserve these games, because then once all the cartridges are gone, for example, we don't have that game anymore, which is really sad. But is it wrong? Is it stealing when we do it with any game? Jodie, what's your thoughts? Because you're kind of new to emulation. What, as in like, you don't know, you've not been following it for a long time. What do you think about it?
It's just like pirate copying, innit, really? Like, that's what I think when I think of it. Like, you wouldn't go, well, some people do. Not saying I do, but some people do. We don't. you won't go and like sit in the cinema and with your video camera going like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so why are we taking games, ripping them off whatever they're on, and then putting them out there for everyone to play for free, when clearly, like, the people that have made it have worked so hard to make it. And even with the people that, where the game's, like, the company's gone bust, it's still under, like, in some technique, it's still under that company.
Yeah.
So why are we still doing that? Why are we letting it go why are we letting it be ripped off and going, well, it's technically in the grey area. Well, no, it's not.
I just want to point out as well, I am in the grey area right now.
Yeah, you are.
That's kind of gone crazy. It's fine. I think it's just because it's gone really dark. So don't worry about it. I am in the grey area, but that doesn't mean you can do whatever you want with me either. Just to the internet, I'm in the grey area. You don't have to be in the grey area too. Continue.
Yeah, so it's you say it's a grey area, and it's just one of them. It's just interesting to, well, it's not even interesting because there's no point in that happening. So I just don't know where to go with it and what to think.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's still copyright to a point.
Yeah.
For those people wondering what's happening, one of the lights went off because it clearly wasn't.
We just discovered that, so I just changed them.
So we look like angels because we've got the spotlight on straight on us.
But yeah, completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you. I think like it's difficult when it does come to that preservation part though, and I think there's two ways of looking at it. There's either the one way where it's like, yeah, we're literally saving these games, all the hard work that you were just talking about that people put into make that game is not just going to be lost. But then at the same time, like, if I make something, I have the right to destroy it too.
Yeah.
So if I write a poem that I'm really embarrassed about my dog Miko, and it's a beautiful poem, it makes people cry, I also have the right to take that and destroy it and not want anybody else to see it. I don't think that happens very often.
No.
If at all, but I'm just saying like that's a way you could look at it as well. But at the same time, it's not. If say, even if I like died, for example, and I didn't entrust that poem to anybody, it doesn't give some random person on the street the right to just come in, take my poem, and then share it with everybody. You know what I mean? So it's a really difficult one because you want to, I mean, especially as a gamer as well, like you want to preserve these amazing works that people have done. And especially like you even find these like, I think there's some people found some like first builds of games made on N64 cartridges and stuff, and it was just like all this crazy stuff. And it's like, you almost kind of just want to play because it's like this kind of bit of history, but then it's like, it's not mine. So it's kind of this, I think because, again, it's online, we don't think of it as the same as, like, physical stuff, do we? But it is, you know what I mean? We don't think of it like a poem that I've written on a piece of paper or my TV that someone can just come in and take. We don't think of it like that, but because everything's online, we think we'd all just have a right to just take stuff and pick what we want, and oh, I'll have that for free, and I'll have that for free, or I'll save this for later, and you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's weird. I'm not like completely against emulation, and I think that preservation part of it is really cool, and that's where I just think in terms of the developers and companies like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo who put this stuff on their systems, then I think it's that they need to do a better job of preserving the stuff and then somehow finding a way for people to use that so it's not just lost. I think to me it's a lack of it's them doing a lack of their job really, and it's like it's then fallen to people who do really care about it but you know don't work for these people to then do it themselves, and I don't think it's right that it's put on them. It should be put on the big companies that make it to preserve this stuff, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think in
preserving, not
that
perverting.
yeah, sorry. In
Perverting the court of justice.
No, if you're preserving something, I think that's great, and like I can understand that.
Yeah.
But it's when it then goes up and they're just handing it out for free.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like if they went to the companies and said, look, we want to preserve this game, like we'll put it up for a certain amount and we'll give you so much of the percentage.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it for free because you're basically ripping the game off.
Yeah.
Like that's when the problem sets up.
And the thing is as well, people do really good jobs, and I think there was even a point where Nintendo had a game that they wanted to, that they, I don't know if they just didn't have the stuff anymore, or they, I don't know, something happened, and basically they actually went to somebody who had put an emulated version up. They told them to shut it down, took it off them, and then put them up on the Wii U shop to sell.
See, that's naughty as well.
That is as well. But the thing is, it's their right to do that because it's theirs, and that's where I'm like, it can be bad on the other side of it, even though it's lawful what they're doing. You've actually just took somebody else's work and then profited off it with them having nothing.
That's naughty because even though like Nintendo's a big company, like they shouldn't be like bossing people around.
But that's what I mean.
Because there would have been threats in with that as well.
Yeah,
like,
but that's what I'm saying though. It's like, on the other side of it, it's like that person's done the preservation part, which Nintendo should have done in the first place. Yeah. But then it's like, oh, suddenly preservation matters because you want to resell it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it needs to be. I think both sides need to stop seeing each other as the enemy. I think people who are working on emulators and doing a really good job of preserving stuff shouldn't see Nintendo as these big bad guys who just want to shut them down, take all the stuff. But then Nintendo needs to not be the big bad guys that take away all the... I'm saying Nintendo just because the example, but I'm on about all of them.
Yeah.
And I think this is another reason why people don't like the idea of downloadable games, because it's like, once those games are gone and they shut down their servers, do you lose your games then? Whereas if you have a physical versions, you've got them yourself all the time, but then you're not really allowed to do anything with those versions apart from keep up yourself. So it's just a big mess, and I think it'd be really cool if just the two sides got together and did something really special where it was about actually preserving the games and doing something special that everybody can then play all those games. I'm not saying particularly for free, but that we can all play this massive vault of games that have been saved, even if you have to pay a bit for it. I just think that'd be really cool, rather than hiding it behind a paywall or some like a massive paywall, or they just have these games stored away. Like a good example was Star Fox 2, never got basically finished, and then Nintendo just didn't release it, and it just went away for years, and then they just happened to put it on this, which was the weirdest thing ever. This game that a lot of you have really wanted to play and we've been hiding away for like 20 odd years, we're just going to throw it on this tiny system all of a sudden that you might not even want. You know what I mean? It's just odd things like that, and I'm like, people really wanted to play that game, but just because you didn't think it was going to make as much money as you thought, you just didn't ever release it. And that was a finished game. You know what I mean? That's where it gets dodgy, and I'm like, these companies need to get better at that.
I think when it comes to this point is when passion gets overruled for money completely. Like what you were saying, like they did it because they thought it wasn't going to do as well in sales. That's not the point of doing these games. It's supposed to be passionate for the players.
It's both, isn't it? Because obviously they need to make money.
I mean, you need to make money, of course, like, and I understand that, and I understand you can go out and pay £50 for a game, and then, but at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter if like 100 people buy it, or whether 2,000 people buy it, or 200,000, whatever you want to do, or millions, whatever. But it shouldn't matter on how much is coming out. Like, it should be like, is it just going to improve whatever? And
I think that's the thing is, like, the Star Fox 2 situation. It's like, that game's like 20 years old. Like, why are you holding it? Like, why not just throw it out there? You know what I mean? They could have just put that up on the Nintendo eShop or something. You know what I mean? There's just no need to then it just suddenly becomes good enough to throw up on this. It's just weird things like that, and I'm just like, people put in. I remember as well, it was kind of a happy moment because the guys who made that, the development team, they actually got together when they didn't even know it was going up on this. They just saw it through the news. I'm like, oh my gosh, our game's coming out that we made 20 years ago or something, and they actually got together and had a little launch party themselves. But I'm like, I almost wanted to be like, Nintendo, you should be doing their launch party because you took it away from it years ago.
True.
So anyway, that was this has been a long late night gaming show, but it's been a very interesting one, filled with passion, revenge over buying multiple systems, and interesting. This has been a good conversation about emulation as well. So let us know what you think about emulation in the comments section. Did you agree with any of our points? Did you absolutely hate us? Whatever your thoughts, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you absolutely hated the show, give it a thumbs down. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be notified of every new video. We've got loads of really cool videos coming up soon. We've got Jodie playing Super Mario Brothers for the first time in her life, and I'm telling you, it's so funny. You're gonna have a great time. We've got loads of Nintendo Switch Online coverage. We've got some gameplay there as well. We've got Trashy Tuesdays. We've got so much coming out. So go and check out that other stuff that's up there now as well. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you very, very soon. Bye.
Bye.